Hello, Happy New Year. Welcome back. Welcome back to Mathur Dental Education. Uh, I know it's been a few weeks here. I hope everyone's had a wonderful holiday season and everyone is feeling rested and revitalized. Maybe you took a break from dentistry. Maybe your phone was going off nonstop, having to prescribe antibiotics and solve other things. But I hope everyone's ready for another weekend wisdom. I'm coming back. We're going to kind of get back into stride like we were doing before we left. I'm hoping to have a weekend wisdom for you a few times every month. I'm quite busy. We're opening another practice that's starting in the spring, so that's really exciting. And I want to make sure that I'm providing the answers to your questions and a lot of value to all the listeners and dentists around the world. So, Happy New Year. This is going to be our first episode of 2025. And I'm going to start off by kicking it off with a couple of questions that I received over the break. So, let's get into it. Congratulations. You've started to shift your mindset and are open to the idea of starting or buying an office of your own. Naturally, this has led to many more questions. This video series has aimed to help address the normal concerns that listeners have had regarding the process of entering ownership. Like I said, this week I'm answering your questions directly. We'll hear from a variety of dentists about their specific situations, both in this episode and in episodes to come, to help lower the obstacles that keep them from moving onwards in your own careers. So, this is another Am I ready question. I get a lot of these, and I think they're really interesting because, and feel free to send me, you can email me your Am I ready question, uh, because I want you to be able to assess your situation, and to go through your specific practice if you're being asked to buy into your practice, if you're looking at starting, and being able to evaluate and to work things out in a proper manner. So, hello, I'm a dentist practicing in Ontario, Canada. Canada, hello. I've been out of dental school for 4 years. I've been working as an associate at one office the entire time. My principal dentist that I have been working for is great, and I have learned a lot from her. I'm at the point now where I can do most aspects of general dentistry, including general extractions and root canals. I'm currently doing my implant and Invisalign training. Good job. I have a few patients that would like to start Invisalign with me early next spring when I am ready. The principal dentist does not do any orthodontics or implants currently. The principal dentist and I get along really well, or well, rather. We have similar personality types in which we are both fairly outgoing and they like the process of getting to know the patients. We both like to have fairly longer appointments to be able to connect with patients and their families. This seems to resonate well with the area that we are in. The owner is 50 years old and I am 32. She has two teenagers and would like to reduce 1 day a week to help them with their studies to get into university. Has extended an offer to me to buy into the office for 20 to 49%. Okay, so you're being offered a percentage choice here. The office is growing 9% every year and has 7 operatories. We're currently filling 5 of those rooms on most days. We are not open any evenings or weekends. The practice produced 2 million in the last 12 months. Here in Ontario, practices are usually sold for 120%. That's right, of 12 months revenue. So with my calculations, if I purchase 49% of the practice, it would cost me 1.176 million. Okay, so I'm slightly conflicted. I love this practice and feel very fortunate about being able to work within this office. However, a part of me wonders if I would be better off financially by opening up my own practice and starting from the ground up. From following you online, I know I could start my own office for a lot less. Yeah. Perhaps I would be better off financially in the long run if I opened my own office and owned 100%. Any advice would be appreciated. Okay, wonderful question. First off, let me say thank you for providing a lot of information. Like even just the qualitative and quantitative information that we have. We have a bit of information here to provide a deep dive and to look at this objectively. So let's get started. Okay, so those of you that have been watching a few of these episodes know that I have a process whenever I get asked of, hey, should I buy into this practice? So there are 5 positive signs to buy a practice, and I always say that I would want all 5 of these positive signs to be present. So it may seem like review because I'm going through them every time I get a should I buy in question, but it's necessary and it's important to not skip any steps. So the first sign right away, you should be able to add value to the office in terms of revenue. So for example, you could add procedures currently being referred, or you could work with a faster pace. Ultimately, you could produce more than the previous dentist. In this scenario, the emailer is saying they'd be buying in and working with the existing principal dentist. So perhaps you'd be buying from a dentist that has slowed down considerably. So in this case, the current dentist is not placing implants or doing any orthodontics. So you could add value to your investment this way. This does not seem like the owner. Also, just from reading this, it doesn't seem like the owner has any procedures in their repertoire that you yourself could not do. The owner's going to still be there, but once you start buying into an office, you need to start thinking now that you're in. If the owner was to suddenly become ill or not be available or sell out, you want to make sure that you want to incorporate those possibilities into this decision rather. So currently you can do the same dentistry they can, it seems like, but you are going to be able to do implants and orthodontics. So that's how you're going to add value to the practice. Good. Number two, you can minimize the potential loss of the existing patient base if they already know you. Perhaps you're already an associate at this office, a situation in which you would not need to win over strangers. You could potentially stagger the changeover so the owner can give your blessing to patients directly. So you are currently at the office and already having success with the patient base. Great job. That's two check marks there. Now, I don't know if we have much information to answer three, four, and five, so let's go through it. Positive sign number three, you already know the staff and they're good value in terms of the duties they carry out and what they're getting paid, or you would only need to let one person go and it could be done without much negative backlash from the other staff and patient base. We need more information about this. It would be interesting to look at the current staff overhead expenses on this practice. Number four, very efficient and healthy systems are in place and the staff execute them well. You do not see a way in which improvements to performance could be realistically improved drastically. We need more information about this, but I'm going to take the fact that you didn't mention anything negative about the way that the practice is being run, that the office is working smoothly and you're not seeing any major improvements. There's always the chance that there could be some things that could be done better within the systems and you're just not aware of it as well. So it is something that you should. I mean, we go through all the systems in our program, but it's something that I think should be thought of before a purchase like this. You have the equipment evaluated and they are deemed to be in good shape. So no obvious deficiencies or concerns. We need more information about this as well. So need more information. So also, what are the performance metrics? I say C course program. I go through them all quite a bit. These are the metrics that can help you delve into actual health of a practice. So you can use them on your own practice to make a diagnosis, if you will, and then you can make a treatment plan to achieve practice success. So practice metrics are very important. How long does the owner plan to keep working and for how many days a week? So at this point, the owner is reducing 1 day a week. Would they be open to hiring another associate at some point to aid expansion? You're going to need expansion. Remember, I'm assuming the person you're buying from, the principal, started the practice themselves and they've added a lot of value to their practice and they're in a great spot. But your entry point is at the 2 million mark, not at the 0 to 500 mark. So you have to expand. You need to build upon your investment. So would they be open to expanding by bringing another associate? Some operatories are still open during opening hours. Also, also evenings and weekends have not been introduced yet. So the two parts to this point is, I mean, I guess, is the owner open to expanding? And if you were to say, okay, I'd want to buy in, but I'd want to expand at this rate, we're doing 9% per year. Could we push that to 12 to 15% per year? And here's some ideas. Would they be open to that? And if so, making sure that they'd be okay with either bringing another associate at some point, using some more chairs, or adding evenings and weekends. I'm not saying these are deal breakers, but it's something I think is worth a discussion. So, thoughts. We need more information in three main areas. So, how are the staff in relation to their pay and ability to complete tasks? So, you know, if the systems are running well and you can talk to various staff members, including the principal dentist, but you can have a look and just see, how are they with the industry average in the area that you practice. How are the systems? Does the office run smoothly, or are there regular issues and problems? And we need to find out information regarding overhead percentage, profit, and metrics in general. But this does seem like an example of a good buy-in opportunity. I can see several value points you could bring to the office. And also, I can see why the owner wants to bring you into ownership with them. That's a good business decision on their part. So anyone who's watching thinking my answer to everything is always, oh, start your own practice because I have a start your own practice program. No, I am interested in what is best for you as a dentist. And this passed my 5-point test here, without knowing any information, of course. But on the surface, this does seem an example of a decent buy-in opportunity. But starting your own practice is absolutely an option here as well. So it seems like your current office is a great fit in terms of marrying your dental identity with the right location. So that's why I like it, amongst other reasons. You can create a good office with you earning 100% of the profits. Eventually, you can build equity and bring other dentists in. So you'd be able to potentially start a new office for under 500K US dollars. So the potential advantage of starting would be the long-term financial benefits of starting for less and building more equity for yourself. The potential advantage of buying would be not having to create something new and walking into a healthy ownership situation. So I hope that helps answer your question. But yeah, that seems really promising. You've got some great opportunities or great options here. Please email me again if you have any other specific questions or if you have some more information about this specific case. Okay, situation number two. Hi, Dr. Mather. Thank you for your videos. I have an important question about my career. I've recently started to think about starting my own office, but I worry that I may not be clinically good enough to take that next step. I think there's a lot of dentists listening that would feel the same way or potentially have some of the same fears that you do. I've been out of school for 4 years and working between two offices part time. Both of these offices are pretty high end. The owners of both offices are friends with each other and have taken me under their wing, which I am very grateful for. Good. Both of the offices follow the teachings of a major continuum education program that will stay nameless. Oh, I understand. But I think we can, dentists who are watching can understand maybe who they're referring to. We have nothing negative to say about any of the continuing continuums of for full mouth rehab and full mouth type dentistry. There's a lot of wonderful prosthodontic programs out there, such as Koi, Sphere, Panky, Nosti. I've done a course with them. It was fantastic. So, I don't think there. I understand you wanting to keep it nameless, but there's nothing that will say that's derogatory to any of these wonderful programs. But I've traveled to do extensive courses on full mouth type treatment. So every new patient that comes into both offices has a long first new patient exam with complete photography of all the arches and facial profiles. Right. Each patient usually receives a comprehensive treatment plan after evaluation of gum levels, aesthetics, wear, crowding, and so on. Both of the owners seem to be having success practicing this way, and people travel to see them specifically to get large cases completed. I'm not having the same success with my case acceptance. At first, I thought that I needed more experience, but after years, I'm still not having much luck. Truthfully, I don't like practicing with a full mouth focus, right? In many instances, it seems aggressive. It doesn't match the patient's specific goals. Patients often react badly to receiving a large treatment plan for tens of thousands of dollars. I often hear that they simply wanted a checkup and accuse me of being greedy. I enjoy other aspects of general dentistry, such as simple restorative, extractions, root canal treatment, and single case crowns. The owners are kind enough to send their extractions to me to keep me busy. My question is, can I still be a successful practice owner if I'm not using a full mouth approach? Most of the successful owners I know practice with a full mouth focus. Okay. Uh, well, short answer, yes. Yes, you can be a successful practice owner and not focus on full mouth rehab. There's many different types of practice models that exist. I think often dentists start to see the high price procedures as the main ways to build a successful practice or just to be a dentist that does well financially. And this is just not the only way. So, let's touch base on the different types of practice models that I've seen, and they're basically defined by how they approach the following characteristics. So each model differs in how they address the following spectrum of characteristics. So the number of offices within that business. So the opening days and hours, the appointment length, the exam length. So this person who wrote in here mentioned that they're currently expected to do a large, long new patient exam. Whether they have a single tooth focus, a full mouth focus, the volume of patients they see, the degree of specialty procedures provided, the fee level, the level of communication with patients, the amount of staff, the amount of dentistry the principal dentist themselves carries out, and the amount of advertising. This is just to name a few. There's other characteristics out there as well. So this is not an exhaustive list, but these are the practice models that I have kind of looked at and I focus on in the program. I go through them in a lot more extensive detail. But the traditional old school practice model, think of practices in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s that, someone graduated from dental school, put up their shingle, pretty much Monday to Friday, opening days from 9 to 4. They may, it was hard to get in to see them in the evenings and the weekends. However, it was very relationship based. So you build a good relationship with your dentist, and you'd usually see that same dentist throughout their entire career if you were happy. Um, Number two, the volume convenience model. So, for example, the convenience is being open evenings and weekends, so you can always get through, but they may have a focus on volume. So, for example, they are advertising quite a bit. Now, these are all stereotypical practice models. Not saying that every practice within these types of practice models is doing this, but very convenient office hours and days, but high volume. So patients coming in and out pretty quickly. Large case or cosmetic. This would be maybe that full mouth rehab focus. So patients are coming in, they're getting a long exam, lots of photos. All the treatment plans have that prosthodontic focus, and our treatment plans are usually pretty big. So comparing that to the volume convenience model, the volume practice model would see, just to kind of give a glaze over, a volume practice might have a large number of patients, but with a small or moderate treatment plan fee, whereas the large case cosmetic patients would those practices would have a very much less number of patients that they see, but each person gets a much larger treatment plan. So that you could see that the revenue for both these practices could end up in the exact same spot, but just one is large number of people, smaller fee, and the other one is smaller number of people, larger fee. Multiple practices. You're seeing this more and more, people who are owning multiple practices. And then the hybrid traditional convenience, that's kind of where I live. I talk about it in the program. But I'd say this is a combination of number one, the traditional old school relationship practice with adding some of the convenience from the volume convenience model. And then, and then you build up trust that way and you can add some large cases, but it's not the main focus. So if you do not believe in the solutions that you're providing to dentists, then it's likely that they'll not believe in it either. Whichever type of dentistry you decide to practice, make sure you're passionate and believe in the benefits of it, even if this is general cookie cutter dentistry. If you do, you're likely to carry out the work necessary to become great at it. You can be very successful as an owner as long as you're matching up the right type of dental solutions with the patients that need it. If you are passionate in bread and butter general dentistry, aim to provide your services to the people that need it. Specifically, match up with the patients that need general dentistry in the way that you provide it. So let's remember our goal. You may have seen this slide before. We want to match up the right dentist with the right practice identity and practice model. And from there, we want to create the right brand, and we want to introduce this to the right patient base in the right geographic location. If we can effectively match and marry these aspects together, there is a chance for explosive growth. Now, often where people get in trouble is you'll have a dentist that opens the wrong practice, creates the wrong practice identity and the wrong practice model by not understanding themselves well enough. And then They don't try and match that with the right location and patient base. Or you can have the right location and patient base and the right dentist to match up with them, but they could be create the wrong brand or the wrong identity and portray that to the patients, which won't lead to any success. So we want to match these all up correctly for the chance to do well. And again, a little plug. I have the program How to Start and Run a Dental Practice Successfully. 23 modules split into two parts: Prudent Practice Startup and Flying First Year Success. Now, if anyone has any questions, feel free to email me at mathurdentaleducation@gmail.com. And I look forward to speaking to you soon. I'm looking to have a few weekend wisdoms every month. So stay tuned to your emails and I'll send you a notification when they're ready. Okay, everyone, have a wonderful new year and email if you have any questions. Take care.